At the age of 18, I got my heart broken for the first time. It was the first time that I had actually been broken up with, and not only broken up with, but she left me for somebody else. Now, like anybody else, I needed answers. And like anybody else in this day and age, I knew where to get those answers. So I went straight to Google, I went straight to YouTube, and I started looking up what it was about me, and specifically what it was about her or the type of person that she was that would lead to the situation. I was hurt. I was heartbroken. Even though I was not the most emotional or emotionally available type of individual, I still needed answers. And so I started going down a rabbit hole. It went from normal dating advice, which just wasn't doing it for me because it didn't really have the answers that resonated with my heartbreak. So instead, I fell into a community that they call the red pill. Now, for anybody who does not know what the red pill is, it is essentially an ideology that came from the movie The Matrix, where there's a character, Neo, who is living this normal life plugged into the system. And all of a sudden, he gets called out of that system by a dude named Morpheus. If you don't know the story, y'all need to go watch this movie ASAP. Anyway, Morpheus basically calls him into reality. And he has an option, or at least Neo has the option, to take a red pill, which will show him what life truly is, or to be blue pilled, which is essentially the illusion he's been living under. Now, of course, Neo takes the red pill and he is shown that his entire world was a fabrication. His entire world was false. It was an illusion. So where the red pill comes in is they take that kind of idea and they place it into the dynamics of male and female relationships. And for myself, when I started to hear messages like women have what's called hypergamy within their nature, which means if they find something that is a little bit better, they're going to automatically jump to that thing due to biology, it made sense to me. And it gave me enough reassurance to where I could blame somebody else as opposed to taking it upon myself for what I did or did not do. So it made sense to me and I went with it. Now, obviously, I wasn't steeped into the red pill like I became over the years, but at that moment in time, it was enough to reassure me. So I started innocently listening to more and more of this content. And over the months, I saw myself adopting a mentality about myself. Now, I started going to the gym a little more. I started doing things which I could say were healthy characteristics, but I was doing it for all the wrong reasons. And the irony is, in the red pill, there is an idea of improving yourself, of following your purpose and strengthening yourself in the places that you can and working on yourself and focusing on yourself. However, these are the ways you can also attract women. These are the ways that you can pull, quote unquote, women. Now, at the time, again, I wasn't really tripping off of the dissonance or the hypocrisy in it, but nevertheless, I was working out more. I was, more open to talking to any chick in the gym. I was putting in the work that I was learning from this content. And I started to pick up and also a mentality about myself that I was not just this, mere mortal, but I was an alpha male. Right? I was an individual who could see a simp from a mile away, who could see a dude who was basically whipped, and I could call him out. And I would try to wake these individuals up. I would try to give them the Morpheus red pill, because every man who was not in the red pill became a blue-pilled simp in my eyes. And that was basically me rejecting a part of myself that I feared. So I was becoming more and more disassociated from my emotions. I was becoming more and more disassociated from my true self. And instead, I started to create this image about myself. Now, over the years, I consumed a lot of red pill content, but I was off and on. So there would be times where it's like a 3-month span. I was just filling and saturating my mind with this information. And then I would leave for a little bit, but, just to listen to, maybe marketing materials or things that I was doing. However, I was developing a deeper and deeper red-pilled mentality. And over the years, I went from seeing kind of, a worldview that was of people who are different and dynamics that are different to now seeing everything from the lens of hypergamy or different red pill mentality. So I started seeing the women around me as not just individuals who all made their own decisions, but all individuals who made decisions based off of hypergamy. I started to zone in and only see the cheaters. I started to only see the liars, the deceivers. And with dudes, I only started to see simps and alpha males. And me believing I was an alpha male, the rarest being that there was, all around me were just simps. Anybody who got in a relationship to me was a simp. Anybody who gave themselves to a woman or was of service to a woman was a simp. Even my own father, I started seeing from that lens. And this is a man who I believe is the epitome of masculinity, the calm spirit, the calm nature, the discerning nature, the ability to keep his family first. However, for me, that was simp behavior. Why? Because I was a red-pilled alpha male. So I continue to go about my life looking to improve myself every single day. I was striving to become my best self. And in that process, I would date a chick, not really take them serious. And that might even be a good chick, but because they weren't displaying what I had now associated with what a female was, I would almost keep a distance from them and I would drop them. And then I would maybe date another chick and I would drop them and I maybe start talking to somebody because I was looking to fulfill my own, what they call my bias, essentially, right? I can't think of the exact word right now, but I was looking to fulfill my bias, which was all women are this way. Like, really let that sink in. I had become so indoctrinated or so deep about the red pill that if it did not match that frame for me, I didn't want to associate with it because I had to believe that all women were this way. I was dedicating my life to the red pill. Everything had to align with that red pill mentality. So I continued to sabotage good relationships and instead would find the ones that would confirm what I believed. So I would essentially find myself now in situations where I was with individuals who were not very trustworthy. And we would both kind of keep a distance. Now, I was never been the type of individual who's a cheater, who's a liar. I never felt that I needed to. I'm a very straight up dude. I say it as is. If I don't want to be with you, I'm just not going to be with you. However, how I found myself acting was I would always put on the image first and I would let you know, listen, I'm not getting down with this and that. And, we're not going to get in a relationship. We're not going to be serious. Or even if I did get in a serious relationship, I would keep the distance and I would make sure that they understood what roles we both played, simply because I had a lack of trust within myself. I was really afraid that they were going to play me. I was really afraid that I was going to end up in the same situation that I did at 18 years old, even though at 18, I couldn't confirm that, even my ex from then was that type of way. Like, she was the type of person they talked about in this red pill content. Hold up. I am sweating like a Mississippi slave. Ooh. I got extra active sweat glands, so sometimes I'll be sweating hard, and it is a cool 90 degrees in here because Cali is in the heat wave, and I'm not about to turn the AC on. Not right now. Y'all won't be able to hear a word I say. My thing sounds like grrr. Anyway, back to the point. So over the next 4 or so years, I found myself becoming more intense, more zealous about the cause of the red pill. And it became evident to everybody around me, right? But instead of people kind of fighting back or resisting, I started to attract individuals who fell under that. So I would even have women coming into my life who were, let's say, anxious attachment types. Because I was such an avoidant, I would attract more anxious. So they would be trying to cling on to me and I would be keeping an arm's distance. I'll be pushing away any affection and I wouldn't be showing much love because I was a real alpha, as they told me in the red pill. This is the way I had to be about life. Meanwhile, I was really just projecting my own fears, my own insecurities, and creating a wall around myself that kept me safe. Now, this video is titled, I was red pilled and I was wrong, or I was wrong about the red pill, is because I've now come to a place in my life where I am in the happiest relational space I've ever been, and it had nothing to do with the red pill. As a matter of fact, not one of the ideologies in that red pill mentality or in the red pill community has served to the relationship that I have. Now, yes, they talk about things as far as masculine and feminine energy, but that's biology. I couldn't have gotten that from anywhere else. And I am a believer that it takes the complement of the masculine and the feminine in order for there to be a beautiful synchronicity or a beautiful complement within a relationship. However, red pill taught me to stay in a fear state as opposed to embracing the wholeness that is love. Like, the red pill essentially created a mentality in me, and I've seen in other young men or even older men. It creates this mentality where you are almost against the feminine, as opposed to embracing the feminine as a powerful, necessary combinational force. Like, it's basically like masculine is hydrogen and feminine is oxygen, and together we make water. But if the two are separate, they might as well be useless, right? I mean, they have their uses, but still, we need one another in order to fulfill the greatest potentiality. And we've seen it throughout history, where when the masculine energy and the feminine energy come together, there is a beautiful synchronicity. Now, I'm saying masculine energy, feminine energy. I'm not just saying man, woman. I'm saying when those two energies, whoever carries that opposite or polar energy, and they come together, there's a beautiful thing that happens. However, in the red pill, I basically learned to ridicule, scrutinize, and actually become skeptical of a female nature, of the feminine energy, period. And that stopped me from having the relationship that I now have for so many years. I was raised in a household, I'm thankful for this, but I was raised in a household where I saw my parents get along and do all they could to absolutely get along. Now, I know that's extremely rare in this society that we've created, but I believe it is possible. And they did everything in their power to make sure that they balanced each other out. Something that I now have. However, because I was hurt, because I was broken, because I was looking for answers, I went to something that gave me some kind of relief in the moment, so I didn't have to look at my own actions. Now, when I even look back at that relationship at 18, I was emotionally unavailable. And this was a young lady who was very emotional. She's a Pisces. I'm an Aquarius. Well, it's in the name, but y'all can say what you want about Aquarius men. But she was very in her emotions, and I was very detached from my emotions. Now, I've had to learn to dive into that place and embrace that space. I've learned to embrace the emotion within me, not to be thrown off balance or to be emotionalized to where I make decisions off of feeling. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is to recognize and understand what I am feeling in order to continue moving forward, to grow through the situations in my life. So the red pill, which I thought was saving me from this wretched enemy of mine, was actually keeping me from the other part of myself that was essentially the most necessary or crucial next step for my evolution. Without me opening up who I was and who I am emotionally, I would never fully tap into the spirit. I can never fully know God, know source, know the universe if I stayed in that space. If I stayed in a space where I was separate from, if I stayed in a space where I was critical, if I stayed in a space where I had no trust. And it's wild because we can only live in a world that we create. So I was attracting that. I was only seeing that. What they call reticular activating system, which is the part of your brain that focuses. So when you think about a Tesla, your mind sees Teslas everywhere because that part of your brain is essentially zoned into whatever your main focus. My main focus was all those negative attributes, and that's all I saw or all my brain would look for subconsciously. And as soon as I made a decision to pivot from that, which might have to be a whole nother video, is how the heck I got out of that red pill foolishness. Yeah, I'm going to call it what it is. I don't care who gets at me from that community. It is what it is. I'm telling my truth, telling my story. But when I found myself in that space, when I found myself finally making a decision that I wanted to live a full life, I had to part ways with the content that I had saturated myself with, that I had identified myself with, the content that I had filled my mind with and saturated myself with. You guys, I would listen sometimes from sun up to sundown in the background passively. And for anybody who knows how the subconscious brain works, whatever you listen to subliminally or in the background is actually more powerful than what you listen to when you watch or when you're active. Because the subliminal, in essence, has no filter. It's like music. Music does not filter from your conscious brain. It goes straight to the subconscious automatically. So all this information was seeping into me faster than me sitting in front of a lecture hall or me watching a podcast actively. I would listen to this in the background and it became my identity. It became the type of person that I was. And I saw myself as a red-pilled individual. Now, I'm not going to say that I am not somebody who believes in unplugging from the system that we've been given. I am a wholehearted believer in the Matrix ideology, but I am not a believer in the ideology of the red pill or the red pill community, because I do not believe it is serving healthy relationship dynamics. I am a proponent of healthy relationships. I want to see the masculine and feminine come together and thrive. I want to see marriages that last a lifetime. I want to see what my grandparents or great-grandparents had. I want to see what my parents have continue and perpetuate. I want to see the 60% divorce rate become a 2 or 3% divorce rate, because individuals are getting into relationship with intention, are getting into relationship after they've taken care of that inner work or done the inner work, done the shadow work, worked on themselves truly, gone to those places that they may have been afraid to go in order for them to be able to serve a relationship in a healthy way. I want this for everybody. I desire this for all. What I have, I want for you. And that is why I make this video. That is why I put this message out there. And if you made it this far into the video, first of all, thank you, because your attention and your time is more valuable than anything else. So I respect that. And I hope this is of absolute value to you. But what I want to leave you with is this. If you find yourself falling into an ideology that does not align with what you truly desire in life, like if you want a family, if you want kids, or if you want to build a life that is based on your own truth, like based on your own journey, your own purpose, if you want to build a life on creativity, if you want to step into a healthier life than what you've seen before, then make sure you are checking what you are consuming. What am I feeding myself on a day-to-day basis that I am now believing or seeing as a part of myself? Because what you feed on is going to become what you are. So beware what's on your feed, because every time you feed, and you become. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel if you get a chance. And I'm excited for our journey together. I'm very excited. If you have anything that you would like to add to this conversation, please let me know. Obviously, I know the red pillars are going to come for me. If this was a year ago, I'll be making a video on the other side, but it is what it is. I'm loving my life. I love where I am. And you see me. I'm right here. I'm not with the toxic. I'm done with it. Peace.